Incredible. Check out this result. If you want to have the same success with your plants as I do, even with those tricky ones that always gave you trouble, stick around because today I'm going to show you a method that breaks through all the barriers you currently know. So pay close attention, take notes, and if you have any questions, ask in the comments. Let's get started. All right, now let's begin. The first thing we're going to do is see what materials we'll need. And let me tell you right now, there's nothing weird, nothing expensive, and nothing complicated. You can get all of this without any problem. We're gonna need dried willow leaves, 2 teaspoons. You can find this at any herbal shop, natural store, or just by buying it online. Half a liter of water, that's it. Agar-Agar, it's very important that it's neutral Agar-Agar, with no coloring and no additives. It's very easy to find, very affordable, and it'll be useful for tons of future propagations. 2 glass jars with lids, also ground cinnamon, which is a classic on this channel, a spray bottle, and of course a lemon cutting and an avocado cutting. With this, we're going to create a medium that has everything a cutting needs to grow roots. Now we start by preparing the base of this whole system, the willow leaf infusion. In a saucepan, we put 500 milliliters of water and bring it to a boil. When the water starts to boil, we add 2 teaspoons of willow leaves. We turn off the heat and let the leaves steep calmly. This step is key because willow contains natural auxins, which are hormones directly involved in rooting. Once the infusion is ready, we strain it very well. We want a clean liquid with no plant residue, no particles. Also, by boiling the water, we've eliminated any possible fungus or organic matter that could spoil the medium. Once we have the strained willow infusion, we put it back in the saucepan. Now pay attention because this is where a lot of people make mistakes. For 500 milliliters of infusion, we're going to add just 1 coffee teaspoon of agar-agar. Just 1, nothing more. It's not a tablespoon, it's not 2 spoons, and you don't need any more than that. With this ratio, we get the perfect consistency for root development. Agar-agar is very potent, goes a long way, and is very easy to find. You can find it at any health food store or with a simple search online. Plus, it's affordable and will last you through many propagations over time. Once we've added the agar-agar, we stir well and put the saucepan on the heat. When it starts to boil, we count exactly 2 minutes, stirring constantly without stopping at any point. You'll notice how the liquid changes, becoming thicker and more uniform. And after those 2 minutes, we take it off the heat. Now we pour the contents into the glass jars. We divide the liquid evenly, 250 milliliters in one jar, 250 milliliters in the other. Very important, the jars must be very clean and well sanitized. Once this is done, we simply let the contents cool. As it cools, the agar-agar solidifies and creates a kind of stable gelatin. This will be the medium where the cutting will develop for weeks without us having to worry about it. While the medium cools, we start preparing the cuttings. We cut a lemon tree cutting and an avocado cutting. The size should allow them to fit completely inside the jar, since we will be closing it afterward. Once the cuts are made, let's clarify something important. In this method, we won't be using aloe vera. What we'll use is ground cinnamon. We apply cinnamon only to the wounds, at the base of the cutting, on any cut we have. There's no need to cover the entire cutting, just the areas where the tissue is exposed. Cinnamon is a very powerful natural antifungal and will protect us during the first few weeks. We remove the excess and that's it. When the agar-agar is cold and completely solid, we insert the cuttings. We place them carefully until they're firm and can stand on their own. The medium itself will hold them in place. Here, the cutting finds everything it needs. Natural willow hormones, constant hydration, high humidity, a stable environment. That's why this system works where other methods fail. Before closing the jars, we apply a very light preventive treatment. To prepare it, we need a liter of water, add a pinch of cinnamon, stir well, and filter it with a fine cloth or a coffee filter. We pour it into a spray bottle and give just 1 very light spray. Now we place the jars in partial shade. Never direct sunlight, always indirect light. If you have a warm environment, even better. Heat speeds up the process, cold slows it down. Maintaining this system is very simple. The natural antifungal preventive, which we previously made with cinnamon, should be applied about every 4 or 5 days. And what is this for? Well, it's solely to prevent the cutting from having any chance of developing fungus, since it's in an environment with very high relative humidity. We absolutely do not want any fungal growth inside the jar. You could also use a stronger chemical fungicide, but ideally, the natural cinnamon-based fungicide is more than enough. Also, hygiene is very important. Whenever we work with cuttings or open the jars, we need to have very clean hands and, if possible, do it in a clean environment with little wind. We're working with organic material exposed to high humidity, and any spore that gets inside the jar has a high chance of developing. That's why, every 3 or 4 days, we open the jar for a few seconds, let it air out a bit, spray the preventive, and close it again. That's more than enough to keep the system clean, stable, and problem-free throughout the whole process. This type of propagation works best if done during the waning moon. It's not something magical, but it's been observed that during this phase, the sap concentrates more in the lower part of the stem, which helps rooting. It's not mandatory, but if you can choose the timing, it's better to do it during the waning moon. Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for has arrived. It's been about 6 weeks now, and just look at how they turned out. Look at how amazing this is. Fully developed roots, healthy roots, white and active roots. All of this in a completely natural medium, without harsh chemicals and without making life complicated. In a simple way, we achieve enviable results, using a stable system that gives the cutting everything it needs to develop. And now, once we have the cutting like this, with this level of roots, that's when we move on to the next step. And now comes a very important part. A part that many people overlook, but is key to making sure all the previous work doesn't go to waste. Once the cutting is developed and we see it has well-formed roots, we can't just take it out any old way. You don't pull the cutting out here. Since the medium is gelled and the agar-agar is solidified, you have to handle it very carefully. The first thing we're going to do is use a thin knife to go around the inside of the jar. We're slowly separating the gelatin from the glass walls, taking our time, no rush. This will allow us to free the block of agar-agar without directly damaging the roots. Once we have the cutting out of the jar, we can transfer it directly to a pot. We use a regular universal substrate. It doesn't need to be a special substrate. We place the cutting and carefully fill it in. We give it a light watering just to settle the substrate, no soaking. And now comes another very important part, placement. This cutting isn't used to the outside humidity, since it's been growing in a closed microclimate inside the jar. That's why we can't put it in direct sunlight. We place it in a semi-shaded area with indirect light and let it gradually adapt. Also, it is very important to remember that these roots have developed and matured in water rather than in soil, so we truly need to be extremely patient and understanding of the process. This adaptation process usually takes about 7 to 10 days. During that time, we simply observe. When we see that the cutting stays firm and starts to grow normally, we know the adaptation has gone well. And as you can see, there's no weird trick to it. It's a very natural and simple method. This is one of those big secrets that people usually don't want to share with you. And if you found this video helpful, share it with someone who loves plants as much as I do. Give it a like and help me reach more people, because this kind of content usually doesn't get shared. And if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll help you out with no strings attached. Thank you so much for making it this far, and I'll see you in the next video.